everyone out there in the land of YouTube. This is Annette Dion, host and founder of the Psychic News Network. I'm going to just wait a few seconds for people to show up. This is spontaneous. I wasn't going to go live, but then I just decided that I would at the last minute. So, here we are on Wednesday, hump day, on January 12th. Yeah, I was gonna just record it and post it, and then all of a sudden it was like, I don't know, my guides told me to go live. So here I am. So I apologize for not giving you any notice, but we're here. We're not doing anything, right? We might as well do a reading. What the heck? Hey. So I hope you had a good day. It was really cold here this morning, and then I went out this afternoon and it jumped about 35 degrees, so we're doing better now. We had one day of cold. That's kind of how it goes. One day of frigid weather. Interesting. Just speaking about weather and climate. Hi. Collective hi to everybody. Speaking of climate, I'm kind of feeling a lot of energy around people activating around the global climate emergency. So I just feel a lot more momentum happening on that front. Don't mind if I don't like answer your questions if you have questions, or if yeah, it was really warm here too. I just kind of find it hard to do 5 things at once. I can do 3 things at once, but 5 things at once is a little tricky. I do have a list. I do want to speak to yesterday, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris going to Georgia and giving tremendous speeches, irregardless of what the Grim Reaper had to say. You know, it's a little sad that Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell were kind of, they had a decent, congenial relationship in all these years in the, in government. And, so Mitch McConnell is turning on Joe Biden, and also Lindsey Graham turned on Joe Biden. You may have seen video of Lindsey Graham talking, back in the day, talking about Joe Biden when Lindsey really liked Joe Biden. These people, what a bunch of two-faced, not nice people. Anyway. We're going to look at a few things, and I just saw a little bit of a clip of Ron DeSantis claiming that Florida is, I guess it was a State of the State address in Florida today. I think it was today. And so I just saw a clip of Ron DeSantis declaring that Florida is the freest state of the union. You're free to go there and die from COVID. Sorry if you live in Florida. That's not a happy situation there. So Ron DeSantis is claiming that Florida is like the place to go to feel free. I don't know about you, but I don't really feel that free and uplifted when I know that everyone's going around without a mask, and and Omicron is out there, which is highly contagious. So I also noticed that Ron DeSantis is now looking to banning abortion. I remember I always talked about DeSantis and Governor Abbott. I hate even to use those titles for these people. Governor Abbott and DeSantis, they must be friends, and I think that one is trying to outdo the other. That's the feeling that I get around it. So Ron DeSantis wants to ban abortion in Florida. When I first heard that, I about, kind of fell off my chair. Not that I was surprised, but just that I was flabbergasted that DeSantis is going to try this out in Florida, where they're going to make abortion illegal, because not that Texas isn't a huge state, but it's a huge state. One of the reasons I almost didn't go live tonight was because of all the people complaining about the high-pitched sound. Maybe it's just a few of you, but I feel helpless to help anybody who's hearing a high-pitched sound. Check your technology if you can. I don't have anything here producing that. let's look at our list. So Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, you know, I'm going to go back and re-listen to the speech. I didn't hear it live. I did listen to all of Joe Biden's speech last night. It was definitely a call to action. Shout out to all of you, and please continue to send me your email addresses to sign up for Grassroots of Democracy, our new organization. Thank you. Grassroots of Democracy is, I bought the domain name. We are good to go. I am very, very, very interested in getting people who are great letter writers to offer to write templates that people can use and just address to their local senators and congresspeople and state reps and everything. We need good letter writers to make templates to send to people in our government that need to get these letters. And, you know, it's going to be definitely, this high-pitched sound thing is making me crazy. Definitely the Grassroots of Democracy organization, which I'm going to put it on my website in the next few days. We're working on it. We're going to have a Zoom meeting. We need people that can write letters to our representatives, you know, all the people in government that we need to send them to. We need to write letters and have a template that will make it easy for people in our little group here of citizens to send off to their people, whoever it is. And I did, thank you. I literally didn't, I almost didn't come on live because of this high-pitched complaints. I always blame it on the high frequency. So, in order to sign up for Grassroots of Democracy, our new organization, just send an email to AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. I am compiling a list. I got a bunch of responses, so thank you. Send me an email, and all you have to say in that email is just like they say in Congress when they're voting aye, A-Y-E, okay? So, we're getting to work on that. Joe Biden really motivated me. I felt like that was great, and Kamala Harris's speech was really, really good. I'm a sucker for good speech writing and good songwriting and anything that people can do with great communicating, you know. So, oh, thank you. I won't let the sound stop my live. I actually was just upset that somebody was insulting me over it. We won't get into that. If we wasted all of our time worrying about the haters, we would just, life is too precious. Okay. I have some things on my list, and one of them is Matt Gaetz, which as soon as I heard that Matt Gaetz is being looked at again, shall we say, for more sex trafficking crimes, the man makes my skin crawl. There are different levels of skin crawliness. This is way up there. I did say in the past that Matt Gaetz was going to prison. I will look at that again. Also, McCarthy's being invited to have tea with the January 6th committee. We'll see how that's going to go. But first, let's look at Matt Gaetz. I know he's going to prison. Psychic facts. I just want to know, well, I'll ask that first. Matt Gaetz going to prison? Oh, yeah. The pendulum says, oh, yeah. It's just a high frequency vibration. There's no source of high-pitched sound. None. Matt Gaetz is going to jail. Okay. Is it going to be in 2022? It looks like yes. So Matt Gaetz, the fate of Matt Gaetz is not good for him. And when, oh yeah, I was just going to ask that. Let me bring this down a tiny bit so you can see the pendulum. So when, but then you can't see the top of my head. When is he going? Is it going to be January? Obviously, no. It's February, March, April. This is we're asking when Matt Gaetz is going to prison. May. It looks like May. All right, write it down. Write it down. Ghislaine Maxwell's going to prison. Why not Matt Gaetz, right? Know what I'm saying? For our next topic. You can feel free to put a question up too. Hey Canada, how's the weather up there? So it's great to have you all here, and it's so fun when people from other countries come too. So anyway, if you have any questions, I will look for questions. Cold, yeah. It was cold here, and then I was all bundled up. My long coat, I bought myself a long coat that goes to my ankles. Really, really makes a big difference if you cover up to your ankles in your long, warm coat. And I was freezing this morning, and then this afternoon I went out bundled all up, and I was like, it's like spring out here. Crazy. Yeah, for sure. Good international vibe. Will Kevin McCarthy, will he show up in front of the January 6th committee and answer questions? This is about Kevin McCarthy. I was getting him a little confused with Meadows because I know Meadows was subpoenaed, and I don't know who they think they are. Meadows was subpoenaed, and he said, nah, I'm not going to show up. So let's see if Kevin McCarthy is going to do the same thing. The flooding in France, oh my goodness, I didn't read that today. I was busy once again and didn't catch all the news stories. As you know, hi Washington State. As you know, there's so much news. I have to pick and choose. This is about McCarthy. Flooding in France. Well, you know what? I started the video, if you just jumped on, I started the video by saying I feel a lot of serious movement towards helping this planet to not be completely destroyed by global warming calamity. So maybe I was picking up on talks in France. I didn't know there was flooding. I hope nobody died or anything. Okay. Yeah. It was cold and then warm. Okay, so this is Kevin McCarthy. The Three of Swords is like, this is the card of the most painful heartbreak in the tarot. This is the most painful heartbreak. Thanks for telling me about not hearing any sound. So apparently the high-pitched sound thing is an individual person situation. Check your technology. So sorry if your question fades. I just missed it. The Three of Swords. Kevin McCarthy, Florida governor election in November. I did read on that before, and I saw a female winning the seat, governor of Florida. Believe it or not, the people in Florida are not, like all agreeing with DeSantis. I'm not saying like believe it or not. It's easy to believe, but the things that you see on the news sometimes they'll make you feel like, oh, they must all like Ron DeSantis, but they don't. They don't. Don't be fooled. Three of Swords. Kevin McCarthy is he's very, very I want to say sad because that's a sad card. Disappointed. He thought he'd get away with something that he's not going to. Liz Cheney's coming after Kevin McCarthy. You bet your bananas. Bet your bananas? I don't know where that came from. You bet your bananas. Liz Cheney's coming after Kevin McCarthy. Oh, yeah. I always get this card about the January 6th Commission. This card is about lots of very powerful information. They have all the goods. They have all the goods. Glad you guys are all so friendly with each other. It's so sweet to see. We all need more friends. You can't have too many friends. I always say. I don't know anybody with too many friends. Next question. Trump. Okay. Trump. I did catch a little clip on the CNN website that Trump, I guess he was interviewed by NPR, and as soon as they started asking him about January 6th, I guess this interviewer had been wanting to get an interview with Trump for some time now. So Trump lasted on the NPR interview for 9 minutes. I think it was scheduled for about 15, but then he just split. Do you remember he did that with somebody else? Diane, what's her name on I think it was 60 Minutes. Do you all remember when Trump walked out of that interview? I think it was 60 Minutes. Like, you know, what tarot deck would I suggest? Interviewing the press secretary now. Yes, Kaylee McEnany is being, she spilled the beans. So, let's see. Kayleigh McEnany, let's see. So Kevin McCarthy is going to, well, I just kind of got an emotional check on him. Let's see, is he going to appear before the January 6th commission? Well, it says no, then yes. So that actually is a double answer. It's going to be no. Right now, Kevin McCarthy is not planning to answer the call to answer questions, but it's turned into a yes. Is that because of the potential consequences of him not showing up? Yeah, it's the potential consequences of Kevin McCarthy not showing up to answer questions from the January 6th committee. That's what's going to be it's going to force him. And he's going to have to go and answer some questions. Yes, it was on 60 Minutes. Trump walked out. So he did the same thing on NPR today. On a radio interview. So, you know, what's interesting about these, you know, Trump and his cohorts is how much of a spine they don't have. They are jellyfish, and that's an insult to jellyfishes. Jellyfishies. They don't have a spine. And you know what? I honestly, this morning when I found out that Mitt Romney was not taking a stand against the big lie, and he wasn't taking a stand for voting rights. Mitt Romney was the governor of Massachusetts, a Republican. We've had some decent Republican governors. This was back in the day, and Mitt Romney, when he was a decent politician, got the first state in the union to have health care, mass health. So it's so upsetting, and we don't have very many stand-up. Well, we really don't have any stand-up Republicans except for Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, as we know. And it really, will Arizona have a female governor? I'll take a look. It was really upsetting. The January 6th commemoration, you know, of the worst attack on our capital, on our government, and United States history, really. That the Republicans didn't show up. So I'm shocked at Mitt Romney. So I was really looking at that today. And I feel like after Mitt Romney listened to his conscience and voted to impeach Trump, I think it was the second time. I lose track. I know. After he was a good governor in Massachusetts. I don't know what happened to him, but so I looked into it. What happened was it the second impeachment of Trump or the first? It's hard to keep track. When Mitt listened to his conscience, I think it was the first one. It was the first one. And he stood up there and he said, I can't in good conscience, you know, vote to not impeach him. So he voted to impeach Trump the first round. It's unbelievable. And then after that, after Romney did that, I feel like he got very scared of the death threats. And who wouldn't? Who wouldn't get scared of the death threats? And I have the sense that Mitt's getting up there in years. Not that that matters in our government. Dogging Biden on Twitter. Yeah, what the heck? He's a Mormon. They have strict rules for men and women. I know that. I feel like this is more about the death threats. I do. That's what I pick up. What happened to Romney? These people don't deserve to be in public office. They do not deserve to be in public office. They have no leadership qualities at all. He needs to get in touch with this. Okay, let's see. Is it because of death threats? This is just my psychic impression. I felt like Mitt Romney, after he voted to impeach Trump, got a lot of death threats. Is that why? Yep. Speaking of death threats, yeah, write to him. You know what I'm saying? Why not? You don't have to be in his state or anything. You can still write to him. Like grow a spine, dude. I feel like Mitt is getting frightened because he's getting older, and I don't think he doesn't have any monetary problems, but he's feeling fragile. It's no excuse. It's no excuse. If he's feeling fragile, he should resign. I'm telling you what. Where are all the real men? Where are all the real men? Who Rand Paul? Oh yeah, I was just going to talk about that. Thank you for reminding me. Rand Paul, the last time I read on what's up with Rand Paul and Dr. Fauci, the last time I read on that, I literally saw a past life where they were jousting on horses with their, spear thingies. And it's I'm reading the chat. Voted to convict Trump. Yes. Oh, in the second impeachment, I thought it was the first one. Are you sure? I thought it was the first one. I have to look that up. So, man, Republicans, they gotta join. They have to grow a spine. Will Kavanaugh be kicked off the Supreme Court? Oh, so I talked about Grassroots of Democracy, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. I will keep you posted. I will keep you posted on what we're doing. I'll remind you at the end of the video. He has a huge house. I'm sure he has a huge house. But I don't think he's worried about money. I think he's worried about his fragility. So Rand Paul and Dr. Fauci, I had a sense that they had a past life where they used to do jousting, like in medieval times. What's going on with them right now is very clear. You might notice, people, that we are seeing, not that we didn't know it, but we are seeing their true colors. That actually what's going on is these horrible people that have heinous behavior, that have no leadership qualities, that have no spines, that aren't real men and some, women. We're seeing what they're really all about. And Dr. Fauci, hello. Dr. Fauci is 80 years old. He doesn't have to do this job. He doesn't have to do this job. So, it's because, let me tell you something about decent people. Let me tell you something about decent people. Decent people care about one another. One of the key moments in the whole coronavirus, debacle that we're in, one of the key moments that I remember is, I don't know why they keep, having these hearings with Dr. Fauci to attack him. It's ridiculous. But at one of those, I remember Dr. Fauci just stopped and he was like, I don't know how to explain to you all that we need to care about one another. We have to explain this. He did call out Rand Paul, and it was beautiful because it had to be said. And we're going to see more of that. We're going to see more of people calling them all out. The pendulum agrees wholeheartedly if the pendulum has a heart. I think it does. Let's take a look at some cards about that while I'm thinking of it, because I will probably forget to tell you. Corey and I are doing a show tomorrow, so you can, I'll post it to Bridge Cape Ann. It'll air tomorrow night. It'll be pre-recorded. People were angry that the chat is live, but we recorded it earlier in the day last time. Don't get mad, people. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't get mad over stupid things. You can get mad about big things. So tomorrow night, Corey and I we'll have and the chat will be live, but we're gonna do a show tomorrow afternoon. We're gonna post it tomorrow night. So Rand Paul is a hurting unit. He's a hurting unit. Oh, his little jig is gonna be up. Rand Paul's little jig is gonna be up pretty soon because he's in trouble for something. What is it? Oh, guides, where art thou? What's Rand Paul in trouble for? Oh, the guides are saying Rand Paul is in trouble for, it's like trader fraud. Rand Paul is in trouble for, he's got investments in some kind of COVID cure that, like Ron DeSantis, he's invested in companies that produce this COVID treatment drug. I don't know what it is. I'm just giving you the little gist of it. Late to the party. Well, it was a spontaneous party. I was gonna not go live because of the high-pitched sound complaints, but then the guide said, just go live. So here we are, we're having a party. It's definitely a party. It's a psychic party. The Knight of Wands. Well, this is Dr. Fauci. This represents Dr. Fauci's energy. He's very protected. It was very, very sad. There are no words to hear that Dr. Fauci knew of a person who had an AK-15 and ammunition that was actively heading to his house to execute him. This is where we are, people. This is where we are. We're in a country where if you disagree with somebody, there are sickos advocating for just go shoot him. Unbelievable. It's mind-boggling. What's going to happen with Dr. Fauci? Honestly, if you ask me, he's a freaking hero. He's a freaking hero. He didn't have to be. He's got so much expertise. You know what? And the guides just said, don't worry. These Republicans, they're going to get theirs. They're going to get theirs. Oh, Dr. Fauci's going to pick up the pieces and he's going to walk away after this virus is over. But he's not going to walk away before then because he's a true public servant. And DeSantis is over there selling T-shirts and merch. I mean, it's the big grift. It's a big grift. That's what we should just have a movie called The Big Grift. Hollywood would eat it up. I think Hollywood should do that. Speaking of Hollywood, I haven't seen that movie Don't Look Up, but I heard it was amazing. I heard that movie was amazing. So Dr. Fauci's going to pick up the pieces after COVID is over. He's actually making plans about what he's going to do. It's like he's 80 years old. He could have retired by now, but he's making plans for his retirement. He's a total hero. He doesn't have to do any of this. But here's the deal. I want you all to think about if you have millions of, hundreds of millions of, not hundreds of millions, billions of people that need your expertise. If you had devoted your entire life, career life, to serving the public through your expertise, being a doctor, being an epidemiologist, doing the work that he's done, working on vaccines and all that. If you had spent your entire life doing that and a pandemic came, are you the type of person who'd just be like, oh, I'm scared. I don't want to do that because I'm scared. No, we all have an obligation. If we have something that we need to offer to the world that needs it, we're supposed to show up. And Dr. Fauci is a perfect example of that. If you're an idiot, you shouldn't show up, Rand Paul. If you're an idiot, you shouldn't show up. And you know if you're an idiot. You gotta know. The greed, I'm telling you, is just overwhelming. The star card is Dr. Fauci is going to be considered a total hero. I see a medal. I see good things coming his way. But he's going to hang in there until we're out of the woods with this virus. And we're not out of the woods with the virus. I was really thinking today about when it first hit, and I predicted that, the guides gave me the download that it would be going on for a long time up until January 2024, and there'd be 1 million Americans dead before we got a handle on it, and I didn't believe it. And you've all heard me say this before. And, and at that time, we thought it was going to last 2 weeks. It's laughable. We did, though. When everything shut down, we were like, it'll just be a couple weeks. We'll get back to normal. People were asking me, when is it going to be over? When are we going back to normal? And I was like, well, you might not want to ask me that. I'm right on Main Street where I live, and the restaurant owners, one of them was like, no, don't tell me that it's going to keep going. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't lie. When I get a download, I just have to, remember optimism. I remember people thinking, it'll just be a couple weeks. Oh, well, I probably shouldn't laugh, but, honestly, let me just share this with you. I take in so much news, and as much as I can in the course of the day. And the voting rights thing has me really upset, but we'll take a look at that too. So last night, I just know when I've reached my saturation point and I need comedy. So believe it or not, and I totally recommend this. Believe it or not. Yes, we can. Of course we can. There's more of us than them. So I've been downloading or just watching on YouTube. If you want to watch movies, some of the older movies are absolutely free. So I've been enjoying. The night before last, I watched a Steve Martin movie. I think it's called Lost in L.A. And then last night, I decided to watch a movie with Gene Wilder. That's called Lady in Red or something, or Woman in Red, and that was really, really funny too. So, you know, and it's not escaping reality; it's recharging your battery. So, are you guys still talking about the sound? Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. I apologize, but I'm apologizing for something that I'm not doing. Next question. Did somebody ask a question that I haven't answered? Okay. What's up with the 115 rally? I do want to look at that. I'm glad I write things down because I would forget. Okay, so Trump is supposed to have a rally on January 15th, which is this coming Saturday. He's looking really insecure. Yeah. Just, okay, I'm going to stay with topic, but I just want to say about Russia. What I said is really, a couple of days ago, I really still get that Putin is backed into a corner. He's under a lot of pressure. He's bitten off more than he can chew. And I don't see him invading Ukraine. I really don't. We'll look at that next. But first we're going to look at the Trump rally that's supposed to happen. And, oh, good to know about the sound. It's supposed to happen on Saturday. We're going to pick 3 cards about the Trump rally. The other night we checked the pendulum. If you guys have a pendulum and you want to check, the guys wanted to show me 4 cards. The other night, I did a live on Monday too. I'm impressed. The other night on my live, boy, this card is coming up a lot. We checked to see if this rally in Arizona that Trump is supposedly having on the 15th, we checked to see if it was going to happen, and I got no, and a couple other people would check their pendulums. If you have one, check. I got that it wasn't going to happen. The 6 of Swords, there's a lot of, the guides are showing me that there's a lot of concern in Arizona about who's going to pay for this rally. That's interesting. And I think it's high frequency. I think so too. And, okay, the old Russia. Oh, by the way, speaking of Russia, I'm not going to get off topic, but speaking of Russia, I did post that Sting song on the community page. I posted that the other day, and it's really an incredible song. I mean, it's incredible the history is repeating itself, but I guess not really that incredible. This is the rally on the 15th that Trump is planning in Arizona. I feel like he's not going to have enough money to pull it off. Is anybody else using a pendulum? Says no too? Interesting. I love the collaboration. I think there are a lot of people in Arizona. I know we think that they're all Republicans, but I got to tell you and remind you again and again, there are more of us than there are of them. And just on that note, if we all collectively, when we all collectively, you got no too, decide enough is enough, and believe me, they're pushing us to the brink, aren't they pushing us to the brink? You got no too. Be interesting. When we all rise up, we're going to see our power. So they asked up front for money. I get that. I get that they asked up front for money at the venue. Do you know what venue he's supposed to be doing his rally at? He's sinking. When I saw that and I heard his voice when he walked off the NPR interview, there was a radio interview, I think it was today. I really could, because you can kind of hear people's, in their voice tone, you know, you can hear what's going on with people in their voice tone. We don't really think about that much, but it is, there's really, you can read it. His voice tone is very agitated and very angry. And very like, I can't deal with you people. So I don't see the rally. I see the people in Arizona that are against him coming there winning. And Arizona feeling like a little calmer after he doesn't come. Where's Ivanka and her hubby? The ship is sinking, that's for sure. Don't let the news persuade you otherwise. The ship is sinking, but it's going to be because we sink the damn ship. It's unanimous that that rally's not going to happen. Wow, I'm really curious to see what transpires. He's on the ropes now. Arms wore out, swinging. He's definitely in a bad place, Trump is. He's really... it's you wouldn't want to be him right now. Country Thunder Festival grounds in Arizona. Country Thunder? Do they have country music concerts there? The fake elections. Oh, yeah. I feel like they're under scrutiny for the fake. It was like fake certificates. I just heard about this. They faked the documents of the electoral, I don't know what they call it. I wrote down something. The submissions for, the Electoral College. Somebody faked these forms that went to the Capitol on January 6th. That's my understanding. So they don't know who did it, but they're going to find out. They're going to find out. They should definitely go to jail. Electors. Yeah, it was the electors. Okay. It's so brazen. It's really interesting that these people think they're never going to get caught. It's really interesting. I think it was more than 4 states. I think it was more like 7 states. If you're just hopping on, no worries. I'm going to post this afterwards. I don't know how long it will take. Okay, so are they going to find out who faked the submissions? I'm getting yes. I'm getting yes, and I'm getting that it won't be that hard to find out who submitted those fake forms. And Rachel Maddow, the little tiny clip that I saw, showed the forms from, like, each state has kind of its own sort of stamp, and they're all different. All 50 are different. Like, I can think of the seal of Massachusetts. I can see it. It's like a pilgrim or something. If they didn't change it, they didn't have the ones that were fakes looked identical, like carbon copies or something. So they will find out who that is. And Merrick Garland, busy, give him room. He really is. But you know what? Today, let's not let down our guard in terms of getting our voting rights, secured. Hold the vision. I got a sense today that Merrick Garland knows exactly what he's doing. And I also was remembering that Merrick Garland worked hard. And if you listen to Glenn Kirshner, he'll give you kind of a rundown. Brian Tyler Cohen has a channel on YouTube. You may have seen it. I'm a fan of him. And David Pakman I like too. David Pakman's a little too negative for me. But and Bo of the Fifth Column goes a little negative, and I can't really go there. But anyway, I feel like I lost my train of thought. The electoral, the forgery. I feel like that they're going to find out who did that, and I feel like they're going to find out a lot more. The January 6th Commission is going to find out a lot more. Merrick Garland, I was just trying to remember what I was going to say about Merrick Garland. He prosecuted Timothy McVeigh. When Merrick Garland gets down to business, he gets down and does, really quality work. If we want to prosecute a former president of the United States, we need to get it right. 5 states submitted fake certificates. Like, it's so brazen. So in a way, I'm going to shift your perspective. I'm going to attempt to shift your perspective. In a way, the fact that these criminals are so in your face is, in a way, it's a good thing. Because they can't deny what's right in front of us. And I mean, I know they try to gaslight us, but they can't. When somebody's holding the evidence, here it is. Look at these fake certificates. Here it is. They had to clean out the DOJ. Yeah, they definitely had to clean out the DOJ. I felt like for 3 or 4 months, Merrick Garland's hands were tied in terms of how much he could do. I did feel that there was a little bit of a waiting game, but let's ask the pendulum if waiting to clean out the DOJ, the Gaetz just said, oddly enough, that Bill Barr in the end ended up being helpful to the DOJ. Isn't that interesting? Are they cleaned out now? Yeah, I'm getting yes. So he had to clean out the DOJ, but it's cleaned out now. But he's no slouch. Merrick Garland gets the job done. So let's, remain positive, accentuate the positive. Yeah, he had to get the bad rotten apples out. There were a lot of them. There's not a day that goes by that I don't thank our lucky stars that Trump didn't become president. And let me remind you all of something too. We hate that we have to deal with COVID. Absolutely. We hate that we have to deal with COVID. It's a terrible thing. And if COVID didn't come, Trump would be president and our democracy would be over. We got a second chance. Like I said the other night, somebody wants me to write a song named Second Chance. Someday you'll hear my song called Second Chance. I have one already called Rise Up. That's a good one. Next question. I put my cards on top of my questions. Let's see. Freedom. Well, okay. Let's ask about DeSatan. Let's ask about DeSatan and his proposing to take away women's rights. I just got... That's going to go over like a lead balloon. DeSatan is trying to take away women's rights. Boy, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. The first thing that I thought of when I heard that DeSantis is trying to take away women's rights was, he's got another thing coming. And remember, I just said earlier that I feel like a woman is going to beat him. He's not staying in office. I've always seen DeSantis being hauled off in handcuffs. Okay, let's ask about his proposed abortion ban in Florida. Is he actually going to go through with it? Is DeSantis actually going to go through with it? The pendulum's saying no. The pendulum is saying no, that DeSantis is not going to go through with it. Huh. You say he'll try but not win? Is he actually going to try but not win? Yeah, I think you're right about that. So he's not going to go through with it. I definitely, months ago, I saw a woman taken over as governor of Florida. DeSantis is in deep because DeSantis has done some nefarious crimes. I think all crimes are nefarious, but I mean, just really knowing what he was doing, being fully aware of what he was doing, and not giving a damn. Yes, yes, yes. All right, I'm ready for a question if you have one, or I'm just going to go to the next one on the list. Got to know as well. The women won't stand for it. The women of Florida will not stand for Ron DeSantis taking away women's rights. So these things are going to start blowing up in their faces. Remember a few videos ago, I said I see Republicans with egg on their faces. And they're just so dumb. They're just so dumb. Like, they don't care how foolish they look. It's too bad for them. None of us would do this stuff because we'd be too embarrassed at how bad we'd look. We have some shame. Okay. Let's see. I think I kind of covered all the questions that I wrote down. So let's open up the floor. Do the Dem say? Okay. Let's. Of course, we have to ask about the filibuster. Is DeSantis involved in the sex trafficking? Funny you should ask. Funny you should ask. You know who I got that was involved in the sex trafficking? This channel is for entertainment purposes only. And I got this a long time ago. Jim Jordan. Pendulum users out there, I got that, yeah, Abrams was not with Biden. She was busy, but I think that was kind of intentional. They're just making... I'm seeing your questions, but they're going by so fast. Will DeJoy mailman leave? Yes, I got by April, the end of March, April. DeJoy, the end of March or April. Okay, so I'm literally asking, Warnock will win the election. Yeah, I got that Jim Jordan was in the sex trafficking with Matt Gaetz. Entertainment purposes only. I'm just basing this on my psychic facts. And the pendulum is saying that that's accurate. Jim Jordan, he's a bad liar. Texas beat grid. Okay. I could get on my soapbox about Texas right now. Shocked at the connection. I saw a picture of them together. The governor's race in South Carolina. Abrams will win. I just saw somebody wrote that. Jim Jordan is the worst liar I've ever seen in my entire life. There's some really bad ones out there too. And just, you know what? As I was saying earlier, you know, the skin crawl effect. Matt Gaetz makes my skin crawl. He's so disgusting. And Jim Jordan, it's like the same type of thing, the same type of skin crawling. Speaking of Texas, okay. I'm really upset about Texas right now. You couldn't get your pendulum to move. You know, sometimes it's if your pendulum doesn't move, sometimes it's just like stalemate. And it doesn't mean that it won't. You can just do it. Try it again. All right, if you're in Texas, I'm going to go on my little mini rant about Texas. I find it really unbelievable that the citizens of Texas, maybe I missed something. Jim Jordan's definitely going down. The citizens of Texas, after what happened last winter, did not march in the streets, did not scream and yell and holler and oust Governor Abbott and Ted Cruz. Now, if I missed something, oh, don't worry. Yeah, their day is coming. If I missed something in Texas and you all in Texas, if you live there, did rally your communities, I think Warnock will win, but I'll look. That's a little ways off anyway. If you have not rallied your communities in Texas, why not? Why, if you live in Texas after that horrifying winter storm and you know it's going to happen again, why are you not moving to oust Governor Abbott? I mean, I said a long time ago in a reading that I did that people would only get motivated and mobilize and do what they needed to do when the pain became so great. And it's disconcerting to me that people are waiting until the pain comes again and is so great. So if you live in Texas, if you know somebody in Texas, the cold is coming. Complacency is death here. I have a hard time with this Texas topic because it's like, it's coming. You guys are really not going to do anything about it? And lo and behold, somebody sends me an email today, I forget who it was, about, there's an article in a Texas paper that said, oh, you people, you better get your cold kits together. You're cold, like freezing cold. Your freezing kits together. It's unbelievable. They froze. And nobody did anything. Is it really prudent to let Governor Abbott run that state? Why are people not speaking up? All right, so a few of you are asking about who's going to win upcoming elections. Is Beto going to win? On January 12th, 2022, I'm getting yes, that Beto will win. It's really amazing. The complacency is, I mean, it's like, what are people like frozen, just like emotionally frozen or something? He's running against DeSantis. Okay, Nikki Fried, I'll have to look up who she is. Oh yeah, oh that's a big win for Nikki in Florida. And DeSantis is going to be, because DeSantis is delusional. How can they give up? How can the Texans give up? That was last February, that storm. Big yes on Beto. I definitely got a big yes on Beto. Raphael Warnock, who has an angel name, and he is an angelic being. Yes. And the other one, Ossoff. I remembered his name tonight. I always have a hard time remembering his name. Remember last year, January 5th, they won, and we were like, yay, they won. And then January 6th came. Boy, we have been through it, haven't we? They're proud because they froze? Who said that? I mean, the extent of the degree of powerlessness that people feel I'm dumbfounded. This is a government by the people. That's why I started our organization, Grassroots of Democracy. The people are supposed to run the government. I'm ashamed that I wasn't more involved in politics early on. I'm ashamed that I didn't do my part and I didn't think that it mattered early on. I was kind of following suit, and I'm talking like, many years ago. When things get bad enough, people will mobilize, but how bad do they really need to get? Okay. Oh, that's sweet that you helped somebody. Help one another. There's no recall in Texas. He'll be out in November. Yeah, but you'd think that Texans would care about freezing to death. The kind of cold we have up here in Massachusetts in the winter, it's like, I could not even imagine not having heat. Can't even imagine. Unbelievable. Okay, so before we go to tonight, can't believe it's almost an hour. It's been fun, you guys. Before we go, we have to look at the filibuster. It's nice to meet you, too. We're looking at the filibuster. Tell us Bober is headed for a downfall. Bober is headed for a downfall. You heard it here. Big time. Ossoff, yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I meant to do that. Will Ossoff win a seat? Oh, yeah. They're both getting big yeses. But we have to vote for... If you're late, I'm just going to post it afterwards. There's no problem. We have to vote for our voting rights to pass. Okay. When you see Joe Manchin, I want you to just imagine you're doing a spell on Joe Manchin. Cinema makes me so mad that I can't even think about her. I want you to think, Abbott is a sociopath too. So is the other one who's in a wheelchair, Cawthorn. There's something wrong with their heads. So, the filibuster. I want you all to think about Joe Manchin doing the right thing. I'm not kidding. I want you all to imagine him doing the right thing, like you're psyching him out with your psychic powers. There's someone from Texas. Rally your community. The cold is coming. The guys just said all these sociopaths got into office because they cheated. I just tell it like I sees it. That's what I just got. The filibuster. So pass it on. Think of yourself doing a psyching Joe Manchin out where he's just like, yeah, we need to carve out the filibuster. It's so bad what he's doing. They are looking really, really, really bad. Connie, somebody just called you an angel. We're all angels. Thanks, Connie, for, whatever you did. All right, filibuster. Okay, so actually, justice. Let me tell you something about Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin has done a lot of nefarious things, and that is going to be used as kind of a bargaining chip. It's not blackmail, it's just kind of a bargaining chip. And the Knight of Swords says, yeah, they're going to, I don't know how, but they're going to carve out the filibuster for voting rights. So, just doing my thing. That's great. We're all just doing our thing. All right, we're coming up on an hour. It's way too long for me to be boring you. Any questions? You can send me questions. So, just to recap, Grassroots of Democracy, send me an email at AnnetteDion7 at gmail.com, AnnetteDion7 at gmail.com. And all you write is AYE, I, just like they vote in Congress. AYE, I. That means you're in, you'll be on the mailing list and you'll get correspondence. Grassroots of Democracy are our objective at the present time. And I bought the domain name, so it's all official. At the present time, GOD, Grassroots of Democracy, our objective right now is to send out as many letters and to do as much activism through communicating as we possibly can. Oh, I love you too. I just happened to see that before it faded out. That's sweet. AnnetteDion7 at gmail.com. Just say I and you'll be on the email list. And we're going to take it from there. I'm setting up a Zoom meeting next week. I'm setting up Zoom so we can have a Zoom meeting. Okay? Pass the word. We're going to grow our movement. We're going to join up with other bigger movements. One is Demand Justice. I did attend a Zoom meeting last night with Senator Elizabeth Warren and Demand Justice. There's a lot of emphasis on we need to stack the Supreme Court because it's very corrupt right now. Okay? So do what we can. And I'm not going to stop. I've just gotten started. Love you guys. Thank you. Be in touch. Remember, Church of Spirituality is every Sunday. You can go back and watch the vids if you need a little spiritual upliftment, especially the sermons. I really appreciate you guys. The numbers are going up, so thanks. Love you all. Go watch a comedy after you watch the news. Okay. I'll post this now. Bye now.